Hey, what's up guys? It's LEGO Hobo 910 here with another LEGO video. And in this video, I'm reviewing set number 75945 Expecto Patronum from Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. So let's get right into the review. So I want to start off by looking at this. And this is Harry's Stag Patronus using a brand new kind of deer mold here. In glitter as well, transparent glitter blue. Like if you look, you can see all the silver glitter in there, which looks really cool. And then, most LEGO animals, kind of horse-like animals, have a gap in the back so that you can have a character ride them. Obviously, a character wouldn't be riding this, since, it is a Patronus. But it does have a glitter brick in there as well. The plate is just regular transparent blue, though. And the main thing that I really like about this, first of all, it's a really cool mold. And then also, by the way, the antlers are, flexible so they don't break. But the main thing that I like about this is the potential it opens up for the future. Just molding it like in regular brown with like some dark tan paint. And you can have regular reindeer for like some of the Christmas sets. Maybe this Christmas they'll like release a Santa sleigh in one of the Christmas sets and it will have some of these. And also, just like using them in Lego City as regular deer. There's so much potential for these. And they're so cool. And also, since these horns might not look quite like a reindeer, these antlers, excuse me, you can, like, see the seam down the center there of the two halves in the mold. They mold it and then put it together. So basically, these antlers are just trapped in between two molds. So if they want to, they can make a slightly different antler mold with the same base. So that way, you have different shaped antlers for, like, reindeer or other things if you want to get super accurate. Personally, I think just, remolding this in brown and then, getting some, like, printing on it and paint application, you'd have, like, perfect reindeer. So this is really cool as it is, especially with, like, the glitter and the trans blue color. It looks really cool. You hardly ever see transparent animals in LEGO. But just the possibilities this opens up are even better. So now let's go look at kind of the main build of the set. There are kind of two sections, this tree and then this combination here. We'll look at the larger portion first. As you can see, this is just a bit by the lakeside where you can obviously set Sirius Black where the Dementors are coming to attack him. It's a little bit of a rocky formation up there and then a bit of foliage. And then this tree, which is built really interestingly, because as you can see, it's built on the side. And it uses this brand new piece here. You can kind of see the black T here. It's just a couple of them. They have a 2x2 base. Then a plate that comes up, that's a 1x2. If I pop this off, you can kind of see what I mean. It's just built in there. Which allows us to create this really cool tree here. And also is going to be a really cool piece, and I can't wait to see how they use it in the future, and if it becomes, like, pretty common. Because it just has so many possibilities, it makes building on the side so much easier. And then the tree itself is pretty simple, but it's effective. Just, has these leaves coming out here at a slight angle thanks to this Technic piece. And all this kind of flat fanned out. I do wish they would have put a few more leaf pieces, as it does look the slightest bit bare. But it's really simple, and I kind of like the way it looks. From the back, it doesn't look so great, especially with that red pin and then the black there. But then again, I don't see most people looking at this from the back anyway. So it doesn't bother me too much. And then, of course, there's a little bit of room to set Harry there. So you can get both the kind of minifigs you need in here. If you want to be slightly more accurate, you can have Sirius laying sideways. And then if you just put one of Harry's feet up, you can have him stand right there. And then he can defend Sirius from the Dementors, which obviously you just have, like, floating in. And then here's the second section. Now this is a tree built in a similar fashion here using those pieces. And if I pull over this one, you can see that they're pretty similar, kind of just like a mirrored design. Some slight differences in the build. This one has a few less leaves. As you can see, it doesn't quite extend up. It's not as big. And also the trunk is slightly different, but the same basic design is there. And then off the side, it has a stud shooter, which is pretty well integrated. Like, if I pop this off, it really doesn't look too bad. And even easily, you can just kind of pull that out. If you really want to integrate it, though, you can kind of tilt it up and it'll just look like a branch. I like when they use stud shooters like this in creative ways other than just, like, handing it to a minifigure and just, hey, it shoots studs, and then or like when they put on a build and it's not integrated in. Well, this is pretty integrated, and it's actually kind of cool because it shoots this dish piece which is glittered, which is attached to just, transparent blue stud. And this is meant to, just like represent, some of the power of the Patronus, and then you can just like shoot a Dementor with it and Patronus him. So like this would be, like you're not full physical form Patronus. I believe it's like called a Phase 1 Patronus or something like that. Or you can just use it to, represent like the magical power of the Patronus fighting the Dementors. And this is actually kind of fun, mostly because the main thing I don't like about stud shooters is, first of all, the studs get lost really easily. They just shoot off into the distance and don't ever come back. But this isn't hard to find. It's, a fairly large dish piece, so it's really easy to see. And also, it doesn't fly that far, as you can see, even if I give it, like, a pretty optimal arc. And then, also, since it's really big, it makes it easier to hit your target, which is another thing I don't like about stud shooters, is it's really hard to hit a lot of the time, because they're not the most accurate thing either. Most of the time when you do hit, it just kind of bounces off, and maybe, like, the figure will wobble back a bit. But this, like, will take them out pretty consistently. That was a pretty bad shot. But yeah, most of the time this will just slam the Dementor and take it out. So I actually really like this a lot more than I thought I would. I looked at it and was like, it's kind of stupid gimmick. But no, it's actually pretty fun, and I really like this use of the stud shooter. This is how I want LEGO to use stud shooters more often. So now that we've seen, the entire build of the set, let's go look at the 4 minifigs. We're going to start with Harry Potter and Sirius Black here. We'll start with Harry on the left. He just has, of course, one of the regular wand pieces that they introduced last year in the last year's Harry Potter wave, and I just knocked it out of his hand. But it can be held upright as it has a bar there, but also, like, has this ball at the end, which means you can put that in their hand. You can kind of, like, attach them and have them hold the ball normally. Then, since it's like a ball bar size, you can like have them tilt it and, point it to perform magic and whatnot. I really like these pieces, and they always comes in sets of 2, so you get a lot of extras. He uses the same hair piece and same head from last year. He just has that smile and then slightly more angry expression. I believe this is different facial expressions from last year, but pretty similar face as it should be. He then has this pretty simple but effective blue jacket there. It's simple, but it's accurate. There's hardly any printing on the back. There are a few black lines, but they're kind of hard to see. I think the most interesting part about this figure, though, is the mid-legs. If you remember last year in the Harry Potter line, they just had short legs, as, they are small kids. But that was based off of year 1 and 2, and now that they're in year 3 and 4, they're not too small anymore. So they use these mid-sized legs, which were introduced in the Harry Potter CMF series last year. And as you can see, they're not quite as big as full-size adult legs, but they are taller than short legs, as well as being poseable, which is really useful. When you move them, they do look kind of funny because, they're pretty short, so they don't stick out too much, but it's really nice having some posability there. Now, here's Sirius Black. I think he's a pretty cool minifigure. I know a lot of people are having problems with, like, the skin area on the chest being super pale, because they didn't print it thick enough. For me, it's pretty pale. It's not as pale as I expected it to be, and I don't mind it as much for this character, because, it makes sense for him to be pale, but it should match the rest of his skin tone, which is just, regular flesh pieces, so it's slightly off, but other than that, the printing looks pretty phenomenal here with all the detail, and then carrying down into the legs. It lines up pretty perfectly. Most of the time there's a little bit of gappage, but this lines up pretty much seamlessly. Then he also used the Old Man Luke hair in brown, which I think works perfectly for Sirius. He has a bit of printing on the back there with some holes. And here's face 1, where he's just smiling. If we turn around, there's face 2, his kind of angry battle face. Yeah, you can see the back printing a bit more, and that's what it looks like if you were to flip his head around and frame it with hair. I think these minifigures are pretty awesome. I really like Sirius, and it's great to get a version of him in LEGO, I say as I break the stand. But yeah, let's move on to the Dementors. So the set comes with two Dementors, and I'm really glad that they did that and they didn't just cheap out and go with one. Obviously, the ideal situation would be like if you had 10 or 20 Dementors, but that'd be absolutely crazy for a $20 set, so I think 2 is a good amount. and it's more than I could have wished for. I think putting in 3 would be a little much, and obviously, wouldn't really work with the budget and whatnot. So I'm perfectly satisfied with them putting in only 2 Dementors. It is the exact same Dementor that came in the Hogwarts Express set last year, and these two are exactly identical. They have kind of the ghost base there in transparent black with then some black running through it. If I pop off the hood, you can see the printing there, which I really like the printing there. It looks really kind of gross and ghoulish, which is perfect. And then the head with, the open mouth for the Dementor's Kiss. They have kind of the old style, more papery capes. There's no printing on the back, which I'm fine with because you're going to cover it with the cape 90% of the time, and it doesn't flip up easily either, so I think it's fine. And then they just have the black hoods. Yeah, I'm happy that they included 2 identical Dementors. Works perfectly for me. Obviously, I think some variation would have been good, but I don't really have an idea on how they would vary the Dementors and still have them look good. Maybe include one without a hood, but I think that looks kind of funny. You do see that briefly in some of the movies where they don't really have the hood up, but I don't know, I think this looks great. So I really like this set, and I think for $20, if you're lucky, you can find it at Target or Walmart for, I think it's $17, just a couple dollar discount. But I think for $20, this is a great set with, 4 pretty good minifigs, as well as this epic Patronus here. And then the build itself is really simplistic but effective, and I really like it. I think it'll look, great on just like simple little display. Like if you have a large Harry Potter display, it'll work in perfectly, matches all the other sets greatly. Or if you just want to display it by itself, I think it looks great. Like, just kind of set it in the corner of a desk. It works amazing. And it doesn't have many features, which I'm fine with, but the one play feature it does have here is really well done, and I really like this. This is just a great set, and I'd highly recommend it to any Harry Potter fan, not even specifically Lego Harry Potter fans, just anybody who likes Harry Potter in general, and anybody who likes Lego in general. This is a very well done set for very cheap. So, that's all from me for now, and bye.